Hi there, we're at Awesome Animals here to show you the importance of helping animals to live their lives happily. But both in the wild and in human surroundings, it's not so easy. So the people trying to help deserve real respect. And now we're going to tell you 15 stories about them. Let's get started. It is not uncommon when wild birds seek refuge in people's homes. So this pigeon somehow got in this very tight situation. He fell into a venting tunnel inside of a wall of a private house. The owner of the house called specialists from the Wildlife Aid Foundation to free the stray bird. The man checked the insides of the wall with a special camera and then quickly went for tools and help. By the way, as many as 30 volunteers who were ready to help release the bird responded to this incident. What a blessing that there are so many kind people in the world. But in the end, the man took only one specialist from his team and they started work. They had to make a hole in the bottom of the wall. However, they missed the first time, so they had to do another hole. Fortunately, the second hole in the wall was made in the right place, and the men freed the bird. The poor man had a scratch on his wing and was taken to a veterinary center for examination. After a couple of days, the healthy pigeon was released into the wild, and as soon as the cage was open, he immediately went flying. Kamal Chowdhury from the Bilaspur Snake Rescue Team is that rare person who's not afraid of no snakes nor huge reptiles. Kamal was called to evacuate a huge monitor lizard from a private house, where he mistakenly crawled into. Our rescuer approached him without fear and grabbed the monitor lizard by the tail. The lizard in this position could not reach Kamal. He floundered and tried to get out of the hands of the man. At some point, he even managed to bite on the tip of the boot of the man, but the professional quickly spotted his attempt. Not only professional rescuers are heroes, sometimes an ordinary person can commit a heroic act. To save baby whale Django took a lot of courage. Sailing past on the boat, he noticed something big floundering in the water, and he immediately realized what was happening. Django, without a shadow of a doubt, went to the animal that got entangled in the shark net and cut through it with a knife. The baby whale was able to get out of the trap to freedom. The man was not afraid of the animal. He saw that the whale was already starting to sink because he had not taken air in for some time. He was not even afraid of a possible fine for damage to nets in the amount of $27,000. He acted by the will of his heart. We hope that Django will not be fined, because in the first place, he saved someone's life. This dog lived for more than a year on the street, and surprisingly, in one place. He did not go anywhere, as if waiting for his master. No one knew how he got there. He just appeared one day and stayed here. The neighbors fed the stray dog, but no one could or maybe did not want to shelter the poor creature. The guys from the DAR Animal Rescue came for him to pick him up to their shelter, but the dog wasn't going to trust strangers right away. Rescuers fed him for about 2 hours but without results, so they knew they had to go the other way. So they found a closed courtyard where they lured the dog. Having caught the poor fellow, he was immediately taken to a doctor for examination. The boy turned out to be with a gentle character. At the vet, he behaved very well. Now the guy lives in a shelter and is looking for new caring owners who can give him warmth and care. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon when seals get entangled in fishing nets, and our poor guy here is in such trouble. Rescuers from Ocean Conservation Namibia acted quickly. Otherwise, a marine animal could escape into the water. The guys caught the poor frightened beast and immediately realized that they could not do without a special net, because the seal was pretty angry and did not want to be given without a fight.
Stay down.
But he was quickly covered with a net through which the entanglement was cut and the guy was released into the wild. On this day, the rescuers released 6 more seals from the same nets on the beach and 1 more the next day. What a blessing that these seals were lucky to meet these rescuers. Hope for Paws received a call from their Pacific wildlife rescue friends about small skunks stuck in an outdoor jacuzzi. It was raining heavily, and it was scary for the kids. Their mother circled around the jacuzzi for hours without rest, trying to get her children out. But when she saw the rescuers, she ran away to the side and watched the situation from a safe distance. At first, the rescuers thought to build them a ramp, and they themselves would get out so that the kids would not spray anyone with the smelly liquid. But Loretta Francognette was not afraid to be sprayed and wanted to get the kids herself. She loves helping animals. So she did. She took out the babies one by one from that trap. There were 6 of them. The kids were already pretty strong guys, especially the latter. He stood in a wary pose and, if necessary, was ready for battle. But he and Loretta found a common ground. All but the first baby quickly found their mother. The first one, though, got a little lost. The rescuers helped him and carried him personally to his mother. The family was happy to be together again. Quarantine, lockdown, but snakes don't know anything about that. So Rohit Giri has to make his job here and there to separate snakes and people in whatever places. This snake climbed under a concrete wall in one of the local settlements. Rohit Giri is an experienced man in snake catching, and he was able to calmly pull out the snake with a special hook and improvised means. The whole process took him just a couple of minutes. It was not a cobra at all. The snake was relatively calm and friendly. Rohit caught the snake, laid it on the pavement next to the bag, and she climbed there herself. In this bag, he carried it to freedom. The snake was released in a safe place both for her and for people, and she quietly crawled on about her own business. Igor Rodriguez from the town of Parati, that's next to Rio de Janeiro, knows how to save turtles caught in a net. Igor Rodriguez with friends saw the poor thing in trouble, took her out, and cut off the plastic net. But at first glance, the turtle seemed to be lifeless. The man tried to give her a heart massage, then watered her and moved poor thing to the shade. The turtle needed some time to rest. Everyone tried to help her as much as they could. Fortunately, after 2 hours, the sea turtle began to move and was able to swim. I hope for many this experience will be useful if they fall into a similar situation and they can help the turtle. Little owls are completely defenseless creatures, and if they fall out of their nest, then without help, they cannot survive. This owl sat under a tree on which its nest and family. The baby looked calm at first glance, blinked his eyes, and did not run away. But when approaching, he clicked his beak, which indicates stress and fear. Mom owl watched him from above and was waiting for human help. The girl put the baby in a soft bag and began to lift him up. But the baby not only once fell from his nest, the second time the girl could not lift him up, so she put him in a cozy basket and tied it lightly on a tree branch. That was a great idea. Soon, Mom Owl and the whole owl family joyfully moved to a new nest basket to the baby. In this episode, a cute little flying fox is tangled in barbed wire. To save her, the wire had to be cut. With professional care, the baby was wrapped in a rag and given to drink delicious apple juice, and then she was given a glucose gel to restore strength. The flying fox was placed in a cage, which was prepared and made cozy in advance. For this, the savior pulled on a peculiar hammock and covered the cage with a blanket. In the dark, the animal quickly calmed down and fell asleep. A man found this young deer stuck in barbed wire in the fence, so he tried to free the deer from the trap. At first, he pulled by one leg, but the deer slightly resisted. When the savior grabbed both hind legs, the deer decided to pretend to be motionless. Then the man called for an assistant, and they managed to free her from the barbed fence. The deer immediately galloped off into the distance, but on the way again, bent down to the fence. Fortunately, this time it did not get stuck and galloped further into the green distances. Let's hope that she remembered her previous experience and will not repeat this again. Animals get entangled not only by barbed wires and nets, sometimes they get in trouble with fishing line, like this little bird. Annie Chen and her dad helped to free the bird. They carefully cut and removed the fishing line from the feathered fellow, and he happily fluttered into the air, thanking his rescuers with a tweet.
It's starting to rain.
It's gone.
We rescued a birdie!
Yay.
In the middle of the night, rescuers from Animal Rescue India received a call with a message about the injured turtle. A fishing hook stuck in her throat. Rescuers immediately challenged to pick up the victim. The turtle was taken to the hospital at once for a hook removal operation. She was x-rayed and anesthetized before surgery. The operation was successful and clean. The condition of the patient was observed another night in the hospital. After the wound healed, she was released into the reservoir and she joyfully ran into the water. One fine sunny day, a cat named Houdini climbed a tree. It was easy to climb up a tree, but it was scary to climb down. The animal's lifeguard from Canopy Cat Rescue Channel climbed up to the cat on the tree with the help of special equipment. The frightened cat at first did not know what to do, whether to go to this person or not, but he soon decided to trust. The cat was placed in a bag. The man, along with the bag, neatly went downstairs and delivered the pet to its owner. When Houdini saw his mistress, he immediately went into her arms. Although obviously the poor cat was starving and thirsty, he didn't want to get out of his mistress's hands and grabbed it very tight and didn't want her to let go for some time. The Hope for Paws received a call from the kids with a message about a small stray dog living under a car. Rescuers arrived at the place of the call trying to catch the dog, but he was very scared and bounced back. Judging by his appearance, he was already of advanced age. The girl who fed earlier this old man helped to catch the Chihuahua. The little dog confided in her and walked over. So she was able to pick him up and pass him on to the rescuers. The old fellow did not resist. The fangs confirmed the guesses about the age of the dog, and the dog also had very long claws and they were pretty overgrown, which caused serious discomfort. He had claws like an eagle. The poor little fellow was taken to a car where they prepared a small bed. The doggy cheered up and let himself be pet. When they arrived at the veterinary clinic, they immediately carried out water procedures for him, and then he fell asleep with a sound and sweet sleep. The next day, he underwent a medical operation. The Chihuahua was named Stimpy, and now having gone through all the medical and cosmetic procedures, he's ready to search for a new home. This is the end of my talk. Don't forget to support our heroes with your likes, subscriptions, and donations. And one more thing, amazing things to be precise. This is how the channel I advise you to watch is called. If you want to be amazed by greatness, just go, watch, and subscribe.